Hey guys, welcome to my channel! I'm so happy to see that you have followed my Thanksgiving series this far. Today is all about the stuffing of the main ingredient, the turkey. But first we'll need to make some cornbread. For that, mix the dry ingredients into a bowl. We'll need corn flour, of course, but also some regular flour. Then some sugar, a pinch of salt, and to help the bread rise, some baking agent, as well as baking soda. Now for the wet ingredients. Take an egg and add some buttermilk as well as melted butter. Mix it well and then add it to the dry ingredients. After mixing all the ingredients into a cohesive dough, we'll transfer it into a previously greased baking pan. The cornbread needs about 20 minutes in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius. You can either use the bread directly or weiterverarbeiten it into the stuffing of the turkey. But before we continue, let's take a quick break and have a look at some interesting properties of corn. Corn was the main food of almost every known indigenous culture in North and South America. It is thereby the only grain that originates from the New World. Columbus brought it back to Europe from his voyages in 1492. Corn soon gained importance, especially among the poorer people. But after a while, an epidemic of a strange disease was spreading. Symptoms included dermatitis, diarrhea, and dementia. After about 5 years, the affected people died. This disease is called pellagra and derives from a vitamin deficiency of niacin, sometimes also called vitamin B3. Because the people replaced many of the foods they normally consumed with corn, and the niacin occurring in corn can't be utilized by the human body, the people suffered from hypovitaminosis. You may now wonder why the Maya didn't suffer from this vitamin deficiency if corn was their main food. Well, they processed the corn with alkaline solution, which makes the niacin available to the body. There is a big and colorful variety of corn, not just the yellow one we are used to. Have you ever noticed that corn doesn't seem to be digested and that you can recognize whole corns in your business at the toilet? That's because we tend to not chew enough, and when we swallow the corns whole, the cellulose layer around the corn stays intact, which prevents our gastrointestinal tract from digesting the corn. 100 grams of corn consists of 3/4 of water and has about 90 kilocalories. It's mostly made of carbohydrates and delivers a good amount of dietary fiber. But overall, there's nothing too special about it. One slice of the cornbread we made has 145 kilocalories and much more sodium than corn because we salted the dough. Also, it delivers 19% of the daily vitamin K requirement, which is delivered by the flour. Welcome back to the kitchen! Now we're preparing the stuffing, which we'll need in the next episode of this series. First, we need to heat up a pan on medium heat and then cut a few strips of bacon. Now we'll wash and cut some leek. And celery. When the pan is up to temperature, we can add some oil. And after a few minutes, the bacon. After it is nice and crispy, we'll add the vegetables. Sear them for a minute and then add a bit of water. While the vegetables steam, we have to force ourselves to break our freshly baked cornbread and crumble it into a bowl. Then we'll chop some nuts. You can use walnuts or pecans, or both, like I do, and add them to the cornbread. Also, we crack in an egg. After the vegetables have softened in the pan, we can transfer them to our bread mixture. Lastly, we'll pour in some chicken stock to make a moist, fluffy mixture. However, there shouldn't be liquid oozing out of it. And when your stuffing looks something like this, then it's ready and can be filled into the turkey. But first, some information about pecans. They taste more or less like walnuts, but have more minerals and less vitamins than their brothers. The pecan tree is also the official state tree of Texas in the United States. Pecans have many nutrients, which we'll look at closer in a second. That's why they were the only fresh food that the astronauts of the Apollo mission took with them. So technically, pecans have already been in space and on the moon. Now, let's have a look at their nutritional qualities. First, they have a lot of calories, because they contain so much fat. There are only a few saturated fatty acids and a lot of mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are considered as healthy fats. The optimal ratio from linoleic acid to linolenic acid is 5:1. Here it is unfortunately higher, 20:1. Just a glance at the percentage cover of the daily requirements and you know that pecans are packed with nutrients. Let's start from the top. 100 grams already cover a third of our recommended daily energy amount, which is insane. That's because they already give us more fat than we need for a day. Also, they deliver a third of the dietary fiber and quite a bit of protein. Most strikingly of all the vitamins is vitamin B1. And pecans deliver many different minerals. But since we're not eating only pecans today, let's have a look at the specs of our stuffing. Well, it delivers a lot of vitamin K, which is because of the leek and celery. And because we salted the stuffing, it's rich in the electrolytes sodium and chlorine. Also, there are a few other nutrients present in quite a decent amount. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next episode of How Healthy is Thanksgiving, when it's finally time for the climax, the turkey. Until then, bye!